this is, I want you to imagine that this is the filter media. If we cut it and lay it we cut the bag and we look at it under a microscope from the side, okay? So we got our clean air that is the smallest thing that it's going to go through. So the clean air is really small. It goes very easily through the filter. Now our dust comes in a lot of different sizes, but relative to the air, the dust is very big, okay? Some of them are smaller, some of them are really big, okay? So what we want is the dust to get stuck outside, but the air to go through, yeah? The dust we measure in microns. So the smallest dust that we kind of test for in the lab is called particulate matter, PM, 2.5, which means particulates that are 2.5 microns or larger in size. We try to measure that because that's the size that science has told us is the most harmful for people. It used to be 10 microns and bigger, but now it's 2.5 microns or bigger. So as an example, one hair in your head, all the way around it, the circumference of the hair is about 60 microns. So you're trying to get something that's 2.5 microns. So super, super small compared even to the hairs on your head, right? All right, so we'll have the dust come in. It's a lot like the fishnet at first. The fishnet holes are smaller than the size of the dust, right? So the big fish go in the fishnet, get stuck because they're bigger than the holes in the net. Problem is, we also have some dust that's very small that can easily wiggle through and go out through the filter, okay? So when we run the Baghouse, we actually want the Baghouse filter to be full of dust, because then when the little dust comes in, it actually gets stuck on the surface of the big dust, okay? So when this happens, this is called the dust cake or the filter cake that forms on the surface of the filter. So ironically, the filter in the Baghouse doesn't actually filter anything. It's just a place that we let the dust build up on, and then the dust cake actually captures all of the dust. Just like in the fish net, only the first 2 or 3 fish are touching the net. The rest of the fish are stuck on the other fish.
Does pre-coating help with that too?
Yes, I'm going to get to that in a second. That's very key to this. Think about this though on the fish net. When they pick up the fish net full of fish, even the water has a hard time going through, right? When you pick up an empty fish net, the water is gone instantly. But when the net is full of fish and you pick it up, the water takes a long time even to come out of the net, right? Because eventually you get so much on here that now the air has a hard time making it through all the little pieces of dust to get out, okay? So at a certain point, we have to clean off the dust cake because it's too thick. So that's what the cleaning system does, is it knocks off the majority of the dust so that the air can go back through again. So if we were just collecting material, we would let the filters get as dirty as possible. When they're dirty and have a big old layer of dust on them, they're actually the most efficient. They're working the best. And they're protected, because the dust cake protects them. What does it protect them from? As the filters live for many years, what happens is most of the dust gets stuck on the surface, but every once in a while, a little bit of dust makes it into the filter and gets stuck inside the filter like this. Okay, so over the months and years, what starts to happen is you get dust that makes it through the filter, gets stuck inside, okay? Now when this starts to happen, even if you clean off all the dust cake from the surface of the filter, now when the air tries to come in, now the air has to try to wiggle around all this dust that's stuck in here, right? And it has a hard time getting through. And maybe eventually it can't even get through at all. Like the water that's getting stuck in the fish net, right? In the fish. So when this happens, this is called blinding. The filters are being blinded. This is the end of the life of the filter. Because now the air can't go through, and also, as new dust comes in, eventually you start seeing dust that gets through the filter. the dust gets through the filter, even though there's no hole in the filter. Because there's just so much inside of the filter, the new dust coming in pushes the old dust out the backside. And you have dust leaking through the filters even though there's no hole. When this happens, the only thing we can do is replace the filter. Because the cleaning that we talk about, all the cleaning system can do is remove the dust cake that's built up on the surface of the filter. All it can do is remove that. It cannot remove the dust from inside of the filter bag. So it's kind of a misnomer when we say it's cleaning the filter. Really what it does is it knocks the dust off the surface. Okay? So don't think that when the bags pulse, if you were inside watching, like all the dust comes out, it's not washing the filter, it's not cleaning the filter like that. It's just knocking the dust off the surface. So this is like the tires being bald on your car. When it gets to this point, you just have to go buy new tires.